Konnichiwa. Welcome to Japanese Cooking Ichie. The Japanese curry we are making today has been rated as the most delicious dish in the world. This time, I will teach you how to make a particularly delicious version of Japanese curry, so please give it a try. Now, let's get started. First, let's introduce the ingredients. 100 grams of carrots, 2 to 3 potatoes, 1 onion, 300 grams of pork belly. It's recommended to use pork with a lot of fat and thin slices. If you prefer a bit more bite, you can also choose pork that is about 1 centimeter thick. 3 cloves of garlic, 10 grams of ginger, 5 types of seasonings, and 700 milliliters of water. Finally, the curry roux. There are various types of curry roux, but this time we will use the most famous one, golden curry. The spice level ranges from mild to hot, so choose according to your preference. The box contains enough curry roux for 8 servings, so today we'll use half, which is suitable for 4 servings. To make it easier to dissolve the curry roux later, let's break it up now. Next, let's prepare the ingredients. First, we will cut the carrots into chunks. Hold the knife at an angle and cut the carrot while rotating it about 30 degrees. The key is to keep the angle and direction of the knife consistent while cutting. This method increases the surface area, allowing the carrots to cook more easily and absorb flavors better. Carrots add sweetness to the curry. Next, let's slice the onion thinly. Start by cutting both ends of the onion. This makes it easier to peel, and you'll also remove the core. First, cut the onion in half. You'll see the fibers running vertically on the cut surface. Now, slice the onion horizontally to cut through these fibers. By cutting across the fibers, the onion will cook more easily and its sweetness will be released more effectively. Once you have cut all the onions, separate them into individual pieces like this. This technique also helps them cook more evenly. Next, prepare the peeled potatoes and cut them into bite-sized pieces. For medium-sized potatoes, you can cut them in half and then make crosswise cuts to create roughly bite-sized pieces. It's recommended to use yellow potatoes as they are less likely to break apart during cooking. Once you've cut them to about this size, you're good to go. Once you've cut them, soak the pieces in a bowl of water for at least 15 minutes to remove excess starch. This process helps prevent the potatoes from falling apart while cooking. Next, take 3 cloves of garlic and finely chop 2 of them. It's recommended to crush the garlic as this makes it easier to peel. The 2 finely chopped cloves will be used to add aroma to the ingredients, while the remaining clove will be grated at the end to enhance the overall flavor. Make sure to peel it and set it aside for later. Just like the garlic, let's finely chop the ginger as well. Since the ginger and garlic will be used at the same time, it's fine to add the chopped ginger to the same bowl as the garlic. Finally, let's cut the pork belly. If you bought block meat, make sure to slice it into pieces no thicker than 1 centimeter. For thin slices, cut pieces to about 10 centimeters in length to make them more manageable. If you prefer the thickness to be around 1 centimeter, it's best to cut them to half that length. With that, we'll no longer be using the knife. Now let's move on to the cooking process. First, before sauteing, we will pre-cook the sliced onions in the microwave. Heat them at 600 watts for 4 minutes without covering. Microwaving the onions can reduce the cooking time by about 20 minutes. Once the pre-cooking of the onions is done, let's move on to sauteing them in a frying pan. Add 1 tablespoon of oil to the frying pan and turn on the heat to medium-low. Once the frying pan is heated, add all the onions along with a pinch of salt. Make sure to spread the onions out as flat as possible. This allows the salt to draw out the moisture from the onions, making them easier to saute. After about 1 minute of cooking, you should see some browning. Stir the onions a bit every minute to ensure the browning happens evenly on all sides. The spots that appear to be burned are actually what contribute to the umami, sweetness, and toasty flavor of the dish. Once the onions have developed this level of browning, you're good to go. Now, Push the onions to the side of the frying pan and add the minced garlic and ginger to the empty space, along with half a tablespoon of oil. Sauté for 1 to 2 minutes to infuse the oil with the aromas of the garlic and ginger. Once they have developed a bit of color, mix them in with the onions to season the entire mixture. Now, let's add the seasonings. Add 2 tablespoons of ketchup to introduce a fruity umami and aroma. Sauté for a bit to mellow the acidity, and then add half a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce to enhance the richness. Mix everything thoroughly to combine the flavors. Next, let's add the ingredients. After adding all the pork, sprinkle about 3 pinches of salt and mix everything together to distribute the flavor. If the pork pieces are sticking together, make sure to separate them one by one as you mix. Once everything is mixed well, the next step is to add the carrots and potatoes. Sauté for about 1 minute while mixing everything together. Next, although this step can be skipped, if you want to make a more delicious curry, add 120 milliliters of cooking sake and sauté until the alcohol evaporates. The cooking sake adds umami and richness to the curry, making it taste even better. Once the smell of alcohol has dissipated, you're good to go. Now add 580 milliliters of water and let it simmer. If you're not using cooking sake, add 700 milliliters of water instead. After adding the water, cover the pot and simmer on medium heat for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, open the lid and check if the ingredients have cooked down. Since potatoes can take longer to cook, use chopsticks to pierce them and check for tenderness. If the chopsticks can easily penetrate all the way through, you're in good shape. Now, let's dissolve the curry roux blocks. It's recommended to mix the roux with the soup in a ladle to make it easier to dissolve. Make sure there are no lumps left. Be thorough in dissolving it completely. Since this recipe is for 3 to 4 servings, you will dissolve 4 pieces of curry roux. If the curry roux is not dissolving easily, turn off the heat for a moment. When the mixture is boiling, the flour in the roux can create a film that makes it harder to dissolve. Once the roux is completely dissolved, it's time to add the final touches. Add 10 grams of butter, half a teaspoon of sugar, and grate in 1 clove of garlic. Then heat on low and mix everything together to allow the garlic to cook while blending the flavors. By adding the grated garlic at the end, you enhance the aroma of the curry, making it even more appetizing. After heating for 1 to 2 minutes, turn off the heat, and that's it, you're done. Now prepare a plate with rice and serve the curry. In Japanese style, it's nice to present the rice and curry roux beautifully divided on the plate. It looks delicious. Truly, it's a world-class dish. As a topping, I highly recommend adding tonkatsu or cheese as they complement the curry wonderfully. That wraps up the plating. It's incredibly tasty, so please give it a try. I hope you are enjoying today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, please let me know. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. ありがとう。